Hey, what's up, guys and gals? Here we are with another episode, the Project AE86. For this episode, first I want to say thank you to all my subscribers. I'm up to around 230, I believe. Yes, 230. And I think my previous video I had about 180, so I've grown quite a bit just, in the past few weeks. And a lot of that is actually due to another shout out that someone had given me, the 86 Life, and Richard Ibarra, his channel. Both of those guys, appreciate you, appreciate both you guys, and we're just a little small community of do-it-yourselfers, and try to help each other out, when we can. And so I appreciate that. If you want to check out their channels, I'll leave a link in the description. Also, regarding this episode, I wanted to just kind of like say sorry or apologize because I lied to you guys again. Well, I wouldn't say again, or really that I lied to you, but I ran into some more rust on the car, so that is going to slow me down. That's bottom line is. And these repairs take time because you want to make sure you get them right, and there's just no half-assing about it. There's probably a couple of you guys that's wanting to need to progress and move onwards towards shinier parts and cool little parts and stuff like that, but this is the AE86 restoration. I had there's a little spot right where the driver's side wheel well, the driver's side rear wheel well, and that the framing meets up with the spring perch. And it seems to be a common area of rust because in 86s, because when I've looked at other people's restoration videos and rust repair videos on 86s, and that seems to be it's like right in that exact spot. So I'm having issues with a lot of the common areas, like you saw on the driver's floorboard. That's actually a common area as well. That and the that's from the previous video. And the rear quarters down below those little buckets, I guess you could call them. I don't know what you could call them, but they seem to be pretty much like water traps, because that's basically what they are. So that's a common rust area as well, and this part that you're about to see. I wanted to make a video on this because it's a different type of repair. I mean, when you're doing a rust repair, there's different techniques and different methods of doing it, as opposed to just the same. There's no just one cookie cutter formula where you just, if it's a flat piece, cut it out, weld it a piece, that's how it goes. But most of the time, you're not going to be that lucky. You're going to have to go through different layers of body and removing spot welds and curvatures and all sorts of obstacles. So I wasn't going to do this video, but it's been a while since I had a video, and also I wanted to just, show this because if it can help somebody out, then, then the video was worth making, for me. So it might be useful to somebody, I wouldn't mind a thumbs up. That always helps the rankings in the YouTube world. So that is much appreciated. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started, guys. Thank you. This is the area back behind the driver's side, on the driver's side rear wheel well. The rust has eaten a hole right here, I had to actually cut away a few layers on top in order to get down to this area. It's actually part of the spring perch that's underneath that. So we definitely got to repair this. Here you can see I've already cut it out, and you can see the spring actually through that hole there. Here's another look at it, closer look at it. And actually there's more rust that I found on the side where the wheel well is. That will be handled a little bit later. But now what I need to do is I'm going to go ahead and make a template out of a piece of cardboard. Here's the piece that I had cut out. I'm just holding it up there to show what it looked like beforehand. And here's the cardboard piece that I made. Pretty straightforward here. Just get it nice and snug. Test fit it. And here's the side piece that I was telling you about where the wheel well was rusted. Alright, let me take you back real quick just a minute. There's actually about 3 layers of metal to get to this point. There's this layer, which is the spring perch. Then you have this layer from the bottom to the top, and the last layer that goes from the side over. So you have to cut all this out. To give you a pretty good idea, here's what the passenger side looks like. You can see it's all nice and neat, no rust. So I had to make cuts here and take out all this, and just to get down to the spring perch. Okay, back to the project here. Go ahead and just cut that piece out from the wheel well. Make sure you get all the rust out. Here's a look at it from the inside of the wheel well. There's actually 2 layers that make this up. This first piece that I'll be making is makes up the part of the spring perch. Here's the cardboard template of it. It's actually a 16 gauge metal piece that you'll be using. It just looks like this. The inside portion will cover the hole and come over the rest of the way, and it's a 20 gauge metal piece. So I went ahead and welded the first piece in. Got that good to go. Then I welded the outside piece, which is the 16 gauge metal piece. Here is the inside piece that I was telling you about, and it's actually a thinner 20 gauge metal. And I also drilled 2 holes so I can plug weld it to the 16 gauge piece behind it. Just to be safe, I clobbered it with seam sealer as well, right along here. This is actually the outer layer, 20 gauge outer layer in 2 pieces, 1 and 2, that cover the under layer that is made up of the 16 gauge metal. You don't believe me? Let's look at a before picture. And here is the outside layer. I had to do the whole thing, make templates out of cardboard and all that, and this is what I came up with. So I got it all welded up. Looks pretty good. My welds don't look that good, but the new metal looks pretty good. You can also see up here I plug welded the two spots to that back piece, and here I just treated the metal with the anti-rust. Meanwhile, while all that action going on up there, down here I also did another repair on some rust. Pretty straightforward, same procedure. Here it is with the final gloss paint on it. But I'm not done yet. I still have to do the final layer that goes up over this way and up and connects up on top here. Here's another look at the other side. This little area that I have to make. It's actually kind of hard, but I was able to retain this piece, which is good. So I went ahead and welded it in place, and now I just need to bridge this gap. I'm going to have to make something from scratch here because I could not salvage the original pieces. So I'm going to make 3 pieces. Here's one, and the next piece, 2, 3 different pieces of cardboard that I'm going to use. Cut them out, and for the 3rd piece that connects down to the other on the other side, smaller piece. So that's 3 pieces, and but what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it out in 1 piece in the metal. And again, I'm using the 20 gauge for this. So I went ahead and marked it out, and go ahead and cut it out. Alright, now that I got this piece cut out, it's 1 piece. Got the back side painted so it won't rust. And you can see it's not quite perfect, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to tack it in first. Like right here, you see this line right here. I know that's right there, so I know I got to have that. And then from there, after I tack this in, then I'm going to just work it around and keep tacking it, and hopefully everything will come out good. So let me go ahead and get that. And then you want to make sure this edge right here is lined up with your bend, because that's where you had it with the when you were measuring things out. So let's see. Let me go ahead and try to do this. Alright, so that's just one spot there. Let me go ahead and, well, I did exactly what I told you not to do. I didn't quite get it great right there, so push it over, tack it up here. Alright, that's good. Now I guess the next spot would be right over here on this side corner. Push that over nice. Alright, so alright, so now got this bottom piece tacked in, you got the top piece tacked in. You see how there's some space right here. I'll move this here. There's about a couple millimeters of space right here. And all you got to do is get your hammer and now you got now it's nice and flush, and it'll make a good weld. Right here, this you don't really have to. I made this hole here because I was going to do a plug weld on this from here to here, but through here. But this piece right here curves in too fast, so this hole, I drilled this hole here without measuring too well, and there's actually nothing back there because this back piece curves in. I should have made it a little bit lower, but it's too close to the edge. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take some paint off here, and I'm going to just do a little seam weld right here to secure that. And basically this all looks good right here. I'll tack the middle part down here, and then I'll tap, and then with the hammer I'll work this back down to get it flush so I can weld it on the back side. Let me show you. Right here, see, I just need to tap that down to where it's flush against this piece, and then along this side right here, I can just do some seam. I can seam weld it right here along this edge right here to secure it, and then up along this edge right here to secure it, and then up here, all I need to do is tap that into place and seam weld all that, and should be good to go, man. And that will be it. All we'll have to do is paint it. Alright, here it is. It's all finished. Cleaned up a little bit. This was the main culprit of the rust repair as far as structural on the car. This was the only spot that you know, that really, you know, made me raise an eyebrow. So I'm glad that's over with. Now all I need to do is just paint this top portion right here, and call it good. And let me let you see the other side, different angles and stuff. Not too bad there. And then I had to cut this bracket off right here. It goes to the rear seat, holds the rear seat portion in, and I had to cut that off in order to get access, you know, to all this. So I'm gonna go ahead and weld this back in place now as well. All right, here it is, all painted. No more rust. That's the important thing. And it's sewed up, and it's looking good, and hopefully it will stay rust free for many years to come. It's got a lot of dirt on it. Let's see, light on it better. This spot right here had a hole in it, so I made a patch right there, and so that's done. But on the underside, there's the rear wheel. It's just in front, and where the hole was right here. So there's actually a flange, there's like a box right here that holds this mount right there, and it's water got up in the seam and caused that portion to rust out. So I replaced that metal. I put new seam sealer all down through here. So should be good to go. Now I'm just going to spray some rubberized coating on there to protect it further. Stuff goes on pretty thick. There we go, let that dry, and I'll probably put another coat on there just for fun. This little section right here, this got something hit it and messed up the undercoating on that, so I put some rust primer spray on there, and I'll go ahead and touch that up as well while I'm thinking about it. There we go. And for this section right here, I put the seam sealer. This was that the big repair inside on the side where the wheel well is, as you can see. I got the seam sealer all up through here, down through here. This is the outside metal piece, and then the inside metal piece is right here, and it extends further on this way. So this piece and the inside piece is plug welded together, and I got the seam sealer right here to protect from moisture getting inside this way, and then I'm going to spray it with the undercoating as well. Just about out here. Got another can, but this can goes a long way. Sorry for all the shadows. If anybody knows about using these lights right here, they're bright as heck, but you always have a shadow, and it's always on the spot that you're trying to see. Let's see. Let that sit for a while, and I'll put another coat on it here in a little bit. More rust that I found. All right, you can see right in here and right there, nothing major, but because this is that same area, it's actually on the inside part. Remember, I already did this panel right here. And right on the inside of the wheel well here, you can see some holes. Now this wasn't like that just a minute ago. That's why I like this scaler so much. This tool right here. See this tool right here? It's a air needle scaler, but it's really handy at just the tips. You just push this, and then it basically just causes havoc at the end, and takes off the loose stuff right here. All that was, it looked like it was solid, I mean just rusty, but it looked like you could just, clean it off, and then and maybe, hopefully it was a surface rust like up here, but doesn't, but that's not the case, obviously. That scaler really reveals what's hiding underneath. So, like I said just a minute ago, it looks like I lied to you guys again about the rust being finished. But you know, this is what happens. You know, when you're working on cars, you just come across things like this, and it has to be taken care of before paint. So we're going to go ahead and do that. What I'm going to do in order to recreate this piece, I'm going to cut this little lip off right here, and what that will do is that lip right here. What that's going to do is I'm going to be able to fit a piece of metal, sheet metal, in there, and hammer it in, and make my piece before I cut this out, kind of like I did on the interior, the floorboard up by the pedals. So I'll cut this lip out, and then, because I can always just make another lip like this, nothing too hard there, but then I'll be able to form that piece of metal much easier with this lip cut out and not in the way. So it looks like I'm going to have to cut all the way back in there, cut that out. And I guess that's probably how that side piece got rusted right here. Because, you know, all the debris comes up and hits this area right here. And then sooner or later, the water is just going to kind of settle in there, eat through it, and get on the inside. So, but there you have it. I'll just go step by step. All right, here it is again. Try not to pay attention to this shadow, but you have you got your cardboard template. Put that in like this, something like that. Can't really get it fitted perfectly right now with the one hand, but you get the idea. It looks pretty good. Then you just make a trace your outline, what you're going to cut out, like this, and then take your template out. This is how much metal you're going to have to cut out in order to match that piece. So we'll cut right below that line. So it should that should take care of the rust. Everything else looks pretty good. Okay, here we have the piece cut out. Looks like I had to cut out a little bit more, but here's the remains. I had to do quite a bit of bending and grabbing at it to kind of yank it out of there too. Still have to get these pieces. Also, you can see right here on the bottom there, there's this piece right here is got a lot of it's got a hole in it, and it's pretty rusty as well. And that leads to the side right here. I don't know if you remember, but whenever I was doing that the few videos ago, when I was doing this long piece right here, there was this little area right here, and I was kind of concerned about that, but I was going to come back to it later. Well, here I am back at it again, and I think what I'm going to do is not only am I going to replace this missing piece right here now, I'm going to go ahead and make this piece as well. Just it doesn't look like it would be too hard. So you can see on the bottom there's a little rust hole. So what I'm going to do is cut a piece of metal out, a scrap metal that I can use, hold it up there and hammer it to give me this little shape right here, and we'll curve it down underneath. Then I'll trace it out, cut it out, and then I'll be able to weld it in, and then I'll have a foundation that I can make a new piece for to cover all this in right here. So that's the plan for now anyways.
You are my world.
done. All I need to do now is just put seam sealer back in here where the welds were. I'm just gonna get some seam sealer and put it all up on those in the welds and on the edges there, and also down there. But here it is. It's I kind of cleaned up the welds on the outside, so it's looking pretty good, you know, decent anyways. So now we're going to just put some rust reformer on there to protect it, and then we'll, on the inside here, I'm going to put the rubberized coating all throughout there after I put the seam welder on there. But I made this edge, the lip right here, cleaned it up. It's not perfect, but you know, it's not too bad either, so we'll go with it. This is just a little bit of, like I said, some flash rust right here from that previous repair. It's been a little bit since I did anything with it, so I'll need to go ahead and clean that off again before I body work it. So, but all this is smooth, so I'll go ahead and put some primer on that now. And now, see, with the primer, you can see a lot of imperfections. And what I forgot to do was, you see right here on the edge, it's a real sharp edge. You know, it comes together like a 90 degree and leaves like a point on this edge right here. And what it's going to do is, like, the paint is going to, it's going to, that's the spot where paint will be rubbed off first, because paint, it's hard to stretch around the corners like that. That's why, like, a lot of the edges are like right here, it's more smoothed around instead of like coming to like a 90 degree point like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back with the grinder and just kind of round that edge off, so the paint will be able to adhere to that corner much better. If I was just to leave it like this, you know, it won't be long, I think, before some paint will come off of that, and then it'll just start to rust again. So let me go ahead and do that again. Alright, here's what it looks like all finished up. Still haven't put the seam sealer on the inside, but that'll come. I'm just going to let this paint dry and handle that tomorrow. So, turned out pretty good. No more rust, so that's good. All right, and just to close this video, first of all, I hope you guys enjoyed that. You know, I thought the rust, the different type of repair was needed to be shown. So, because most of the stuff you see online or on YouTube is going to be like your basic, you know, flat panel repair where you just, you know, you cut it out, you take a new piece of metal, you weld it in. So, I wanted to, you know, get this, you know, show different types of repairs. So anyways, now that that's finished, now I'm just going to say, I'm not going to promise anything, but for the upcoming episodes, We're going to be moving on to paint, getting it ready for, I should say prepping for paint, because really that's 95% of your paint job is prep. So we're going to go through that process. I'm going to show all of that as well. We're going to move on from the rust, unless something drastically happens, but I don't think it will. I've kind of gone through the car already, and everything looks good. It was just those couple spots, that was kind of had a question mark. I wasn't too sure about them, but they ended up being that they did need to be repaired, so went ahead and did that. So now that all that's finished, we're going to go over the car with a DA, get the that way we can see better the low spots in all the cars and everything that needs to be body worked, as far as any type of fillers that need to be applied, and then we'll get to primer, paint, and clear coat after that. And I'm thinking of I was kind of wanting some opinions from you guys. What would you think about what kind of color you're thinking? I'm kind of liking this. At first I didn't like the silver, this factory silver right here, but it's kind of growing on me, to be honest with you, and I like the fact that it would be the original color. I'm thinking this with black bumpers, maybe like a matte bumpers. Also, this color. Have you seen the new? They got them on like the new 86s, the new Toyota GT86s. That it's like a really light gray. I think it's called Battleship Gray. I'm thinking of that too with the black bumpers. I think that would look pretty cool, but they didn't really have that color in the 80s, and I kind of would want to keep the car period correct, which is why this is why I'm kind of leaning towards this color. So I even thought about like a dark maroon, like a maroonish, reddish, more like maroon color with the black bumpers. That looks pretty good as well. This is going to be my daily driver, so I don't want anything too crazy. I want to be able to just drive it without people like looking at me everywhere I go. So I want to keep it kind of simple and kind of low key. And I guess that's about it. Let me know what you think. So on that note, about the color, like pink or something like that, or orange, I'm not really gonna entertain that because it draws too much attention. So I guess that's about it. Let me know what you think in the comments. Again, like and subscribe if you found this video helpful, or think that it might be helpful to someone else. I'd appreciate it. And I appreciate it, and we'll see you next time. All right? Thank you.